So today we're going to do advanced visualization, and in particular we're going to focus on looking at mapping. So how do we put things on a map? So we're going to start off here by reading a CSV file. So this is the first time that we've loaded up a CSV file. So I'm going to just go ahead and run this code, and we're going to get an error, and we're going to see what we do. So it says file not found, and that's because it's looking for this right here in our local directory, and we don't have it. So I need to upload this from my directory. And so this is my local directory on my computer, and now I'm uploading it to the cloud, so it's in the local directory on the cloud. And I have to make sure that there's an exact match, okay, between this and this. And you see, I actually uploaded the wrong file. So I'll need that file later, but I need to upload the right file now. So this is the correct file. So make sure that there's an exact match between what you have here and what you have here. So let's try it again. So now this time it works, and we can just close this out by clicking X. And so as a fun exercise, I encourage you to load up the Excel file in the CSV file in Excel and look at each column. So head gives us the first few lines, the first 5 lines of the data set. So we loaded this up as a data frame. So we're now using Pandas, which is a new library, and it always has the alias of PD. And a data frame, you can think of it as a spreadsheet. So we go ahead and we run head, and we see that we have these columns: station, name, date, t-average, t-max, and t-min. So this is data for temperatures at this particular location. So let's just look at this. So the date is the date, the Tmax is the high temperature, Tmin is the low temperature, the station is the code for the weather station that collected the data, and name is just the name of the weather station. Okay. Now we can look at shape. So shape tells us how many rows and how many columns there are. So let's take a look at that. So there will be 31 rows. So here we're looking at the top 5. And then there are 6 columns. So let's count them: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you want to look at all of them, you can actually click on this, and it will show you everything. So if you want to see all of them, you can look at all of them, and so on and so forth. Okay? That's a special feature inside of Colab. It is not a feature of Python. Okay, so now we have the shape, and now we're going to look at just the highs. So the way that we get the highs is by using this syntax here, where we simply put the name of the column, the title of the column, in the parentheses like this. And so this is going to pull out Tmax. So these are the high temperatures, and we're just going to set it to highs. And then highs just prints it out. So it says, you know, row 0 has high of 61, row 1 has a high of 60. So let's just check that. So row 0 has a high of 61, row 1 has a high of 60. And we're doing all of this simply because we want to plot the highs. Okay, so this is all of the data. So here are the 31 rows. And now we're going to create our line chart. And we're creating our line chart in exactly the same way that we've done in the past. The only difference here is that we're now painting it in red. So we're going to create a red line. So these are the highs. Everything else you have seen before. So we're setting the title, the X label, the Y label, and then the size of the tick parameters. So let's see what that looks like. Okay, so we actually got an error here, which is that highs is not defined. And the reason for that is that I talked about this, but I didn't run it. So it's useful to know how to debug things. So that's why I'm showing you all of the errors. So now we run it, and here we get the high temperatures. So here we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way to the 31 rows. And then on the y-axis, we have the temperature, just as we would expect. Okay, and now we're going to add the dates. Okay, so we're going to pull out dates here. And then the way that we're going to plot these is that we're going to get every 10th date. So this gives us the ticks from 0 to length of dates. So length of dates is the number of dates that we have. And then 10 gives us every 10th one. And so then it plots an X tick at each one. Okay? And so we'll see what that looks like. So you see here, every 10 days, we get the x-axis. And so that is a way to plot every 10th item in your data set. And we got that because we pulled dates out here, and we end up with that as the X label. Okay. Now, in the next, we're going to read the data for the entire year.